In this RouteCAD tutorial video, we will see how to create a cutting path and merge multiple cutting paths for the purpose of creating a surface of revolution. We have designed a chalk holding tool. We also have designed a cylindrical workpiece with construction element. All the construction elements are in blue, and they are also keep out of route element. We also have designed a representation of a cutting tool, and this is our cutting path. And what we would like to do is we would like to create or save a cutting path that we will reuse multiple times in other drawing or in this drawing. Let's see how it is done. The first thing that we want to do is we would like to basically route this cutting path that we want to keep. So to do so, we go to Machine, and we select Route Semi-Automatic, and we want to route this cutting path. So we're going to click on the first object we want to route, the second one, the third, we click on the arc, and on the last object. So what we have done, we have basically defined a cutting path, and this cutting path is routed. It's a valid cutting path. Our CNC can follow this cutting path. But what we actually want to do now is we would like to only save this cutting path and then reuse it multiple times into another drawing so that our CNC can follow this cutting path multiple times. To do so, we will erase everything in this drawing except this cutting path. So that's quite easy. We go to Erase, and we're going to select Object, and we're also going to select Window, and we're going to erase our chalk holding tool. We're going to erase the bottom part of the chalk holding tool, and we're also going to erase our cutting tool representation. Now here we have it. The only thing that is left is the cutting path that we want. So what we're going to do is save this cutting path, and we will name it a name that is convenient. We will name it Lathe Chalk One Pass. So we're going to call it like that, Lathe Chalk One Pass, and we will basically save it. So we have saved the Lathe Chalk One Path, which is basically our cutting path that we have created previously. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go and get back the same drawing that we had before, Lathe Chalk with pass done. Lathe Chalk full. We're going to open that again. So this is the first drawing we had before. Basically, this drawing has no routed element. It only has construction element in blue and construction element in red. Those can be routed, but at the moment they are not. One interesting thing that we have made in this drawing, the cutting tool, the origin of the cutting tool, we want the origin of the cutting tool to be at the same location as the home 00 of a CNC lathe. In this case, it just happened to be there. And what we did, we put a point and we routed that point. So this point is already routed. Now, I'm just going to erase, I'm going to go and do display route arrow so we can clearly see the point. If we click the middle mouse button, we can see that point was routed. If I erase the routing information, now this point is no longer routed, and we can see in red it becomes again a simple construction element. Now, what we will do is we will again route this point by going to route semi-automatic, and we're going to click the left mouse button on that point. So that point is routed, and this becomes the very first element to be routed in this project. Now, again, this point in our situation represent the 0, 0 ohm location of our CNC lathe. It is there because if we know where our ohm location is, we can just put it in the drawing, put a point there, and then route as the first point, so that when we export the G code, the CNC cutting tool is already at ohm, and everything will correspond to the ohm, and then it will get a good result. So the next step, we're gonna display in the grid, because we're going to be using the grid a little bit. The next step is we're going to go and merge the cutting path that we have made previously in Lathe Chuck 1 pass, and we're going to use it to create a profile of revolution that we have right here. And because in this case, we're going to use that to make a multiple pass. So let's do that. To merge, we just go to File, and we click on Merge. And we want to merge the drawing we had before was Lathe Chuck 1 pass. That was basically the cutting path that we done, what we've routed previously. And we click on Open. Now, this is an important question we have. It asks us if we want to merge before the first route or after. Because we have already made a point and we routed the point, we definitely want to merge after the last route, because the last route on this current drawing is the point. What's going to happen is the first object to be routed is the point. Then when we bring a profile that we just made, it will merge it after the point. So it will make the point, and then it's going to make the rest of the profile. So to merge it after, we have to, after the last route, we have to click on No. So here we have it. It brought the routing profile at the same place it was created, but actually we don't want to put it there. Now, it's not quite finished because as you can see, the routing profile is in gray, which means the system is expecting some other information before it could place that routing profile at a final location. So what we're going to do, we're going to basically, you press F3 to enable the snap. We're going to select the grid, and we're going to use the grid to move a little bit this routing profile to another place. So we can click almost any grid point, and we're going to move the profile down a little bit. We're going to move it down all the way there. Basically, what we are basically doing, the first profile that we are merged, we are barely touching the material, and we're going to click there. So what's going to happen is that when we export this to G code, what the CNC will do, it will start at the 0 location. It will follow this profile, and as the chuck is spinning the workpiece, the cylindrical workpiece, and barely touch the material for the first time. Now, what we want to do next is we want to start going inside the material. To do that, we're going to repeat that same process. We're going to merge it again. So we go again, we merge the same lathe shock 1 pass, and we want to merge it again after the last route. So now the last route is basically that last object. So this is the first route, and it's routing all this, and this is the last route. So we want to merge it after the last route, so we need to always select no. And again, it places the profile the same location it was created. And again, we're going to use the grid to actually move it to the place that we want. In this case, we want to start to go in the material, not too deep, but a little deeper. And we can maybe go that deep in the material. So we have the second profile. What's going to happen is that the second profile, it will go and do this first profile where it's barely touching the material, and it will repeat that profile a second time where it's actually going inside the material. In this case, we have the grid to 0.2 inch. It will actually go 0.2, about 0.4 inch inside the material. Now, this is not a final result, because what we actually want, we want this to be the final profile that gave us this surface of revolution. So we're going to merge one more time. We go to File, Merge, and we're going to merge again the lathe shock 1 path that we've created previously. And again, we need to merge after the last route. Now, the last route is basically this element over here. So we click on No to merge after the last route. And in this case, the place where it was created, we are happy with it. We're just going to leave it there. And if we want to leave a merge element at the location where it was created, all we need to do is we can just press Escape or click the right mouse button, and it will just drop it there. So here we have it. We did 3 passes. First pass, we're barely touching the material. Second pass, we're going in the material. And third pass, we have actually have the profile of revolution that we have created. Now, this tutorial is showing us how we can basically create a profile, a certain profile, and reuse it multiple times to achieve a surface of revolution. And then the cutting tool will basically follow the profile that we have created. This is good. It can work. We can do it this way. And then there might be some instances where we want to do things a little bit more manually, and we can use this method. The only drawback with this method is going to be a little bit time consuming, because the CNC will fully follow a lot of profiles that are not, a little bit inefficient, and it will take longer than it could. So this is why there's also the wizard where we can actually create a contour of revolution, and it's much more optimized than this method. But this tutorial is basically a tutorial to show how we can create profile, save this profile, and merge this profile in one drawing or into another drawing, use them. We can merge after the last route, like in this case. We can also merge before the first route. So this is a very good tutorial that basically shows us how to basically work this CNC lathe when we're using the merge.